If there's one thing every gardener dreams of, it's walking out to the garden one morning and seeing everything bursting with color, growth, and energy. I've been gardening long enough to know that soil is the heart of the entire operation. Feed your soil right, and your plants respond almost instantly, sometimes so dramatically it feels like magic. And today, I want to share something I've poured into my own garden over the years that never fails to bring tired soil, weak plants, and struggling beds back to life. This isn't some complicated chemical mix, it's not expensive, it's not new. But it works, and if you use it the right way, your garden will reward you with stronger roots, richer foliage, and harvests that look like they belong in a gardening magazine. Welcome back to Soil Stories, where we explore real techniques, real solutions, and real results, one gardener to another. Before I get into the mixture itself, let's talk for a moment about why liquid soil boosters are so powerful. When you pour a nutrient-rich liquid into your garden, you're delivering instantly available food directly to the root zone. There's no waiting for organic matter to break down, no worrying about uneven distribution, and no guessing whether the roots will reach the nutrients in time. Liquid feeding also wakes up your soil's microbial community, the tiny workers that transform dead dirt into living, fertile earth. When microbes thrive, everything else follows. Your plants grow faster, diseases retreat, and the soil structure becomes softer, darker, and easier to work with. This is exactly why the mixture I'm about to share is so effective. It fuels the whole underground ecosystem, not just the plants you see on the surface. The magic liquid I'm talking about is compost tea, a fermented microbe-rich nutrient-packed drink for your soil that you can make right at home. And don't worry, the version I'm about to walk you through is the simplest and most effective recipe I've tested over the years. No complicated equipment, no pumps, no fancy gadgets. Just real living nutrition your soil will drink up like rain after a long drought. Start with well-made compost, the darker, the better. If you make your own, perfect. If you buy it, choose something organic and fully decomposed. Fill a bucket halfway with compost, then top it up with non-chlorinated water. If all you have is tap water, let it sit out overnight to allow the chlorine to evaporate. Stir the mixture thoroughly. What you're doing here is waking up the dormant microbes inside the compost and giving them a chance to multiply. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, the water transforms into a living suspension of beneficial organisms, mild nutrients, and natural growth stimulants. Give it a stir several times throughout the day. Each stir oxygenates the mixture, helping the beneficial microbes dominate. When it's ready, strain out the solids using a mesh cloth or an old t-shirt. The result? A dark, earthy-smelling liquid that's basically a probiotic drink for your garden. Gardeners often underestimate how much plants rely on the invisible life beneath the soil surface. When your soil is dormant or depleted, plants struggle no matter how much fertilizer you add. But when the soil is alive, really alive, everything changes. Compost tea ignites this transformation in several key ways. It boosts microbial life dramatically, making soil more biologically active. These microbes break down organic matter faster, releasing a steady flow of nutrients directly to plant roots. This means your plants don't just grow, they thrive, producing deeper greens, stronger stems, and more vigorous growth overall. The tea also improves nutrient uptake. Even if your soil contains plenty of nutrients, plants can't use them unless they're in the right form. Compost tea helps convert those locked-up minerals into plant-available food. You'll also notice better moisture retention within a few weeks of consistent use. Healthy microbial networks create tiny channels in the soil that act like sponges, holding water longer and reducing stress on your plants, especially during dry seasons. And one of the most underrated benefits is disease suppression. A thriving microbial population helps defend roots from fungal and bacterial pathogens by outcompeting them. It's like building a strong soil immune system. When all these effects combine, the result looks dramatic above ground. Plants suddenly push out new shoots, leaves grow fuller, and fruiting plants produce heavier yields. It truly feels like the garden wakes up overnight. You can apply compost tea in two main ways, as a soil drench or as a foliar feed. A soil drench is the most straightforward. Simply pour the tea directly around the base of each plant, letting it soak into the soil. This delivers millions of active microbes right where your plants need them most. I like to apply it in the early morning or late afternoon to avoid stressing the soil life in harsh sun. A foliar feed is sprayed directly onto the leaves. Plants can absorb some nutrients through their foliage, and beneficial microbes can form a protective film that discourages pests and disease. If you go this route, make sure to strain the tea very well so you don't clog your sprayer. Spray lightly, covering both the tops and undersides of the leaves. For best results, use the tea immediately after brewing. The beneficial organisms are most active during the first few hours. Apply it every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season, and once a month during cooler months when plants are less active. The consistency is what transforms your soil long term. Each application adds more life, more structure, and more resilience. Over time, you'll notice that your garden needs less fertilizer, holds water better, and bounces back from stress much more quickly. I first started using this mixture years ago when I was trying to revive a patch of soil that had been overworked and underfed. Everything I planted there seemed to suffer: yellowing leaves, stunted growth, poor yields. I tried store-bought fertilizers, but the results were always temporary. The soil was tired. When I began drenching the area with compost tea every couple of weeks, I didn't expect much, but within 1 month, the difference was undeniable. The soil became softer and darker, worms returned. Plants that had been barely surviving suddenly pushed out lush new growth. The next season, the same bed became my most productive one. Since then, compost tea has become a regular part of my gardening routine. It's one of those things that's so simple, so affordable, and so effective that I can't imagine gardening without it. If you pour this into your soil, you'll understand exactly why. Whether you're just starting your gardening journey, or you've been tending beds for decades, compost tea is one of the most powerful tools you can add to your routine. It's natural, it's gentle, it's beginner-friendly, and best of all, it works in every garden, in every climate, and with every soil type. Make your first batch this week. Pour it into your soil, and get ready to watch your garden explode with life. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Soil Stories, share this article with another gardener, and keep exploring the simple secrets that make gardening truly magical. Your soil has a story. Let's make it a fertile one.